Okay, so the weaving and the loom issue is going to slightly change a little bit. As I said before, I've seen this different way of doing it that I want to try. So I'm going to take the smaller holes, and I've got the biggest drill bit I've got, which is, I think, is a 3/4 inch. And I'm putting a hole every inch instead of every 6 inches, and I'm going to drill those out. I'm only going down 3 feet. I'm not going to go any further than that right now, because I just want to do a little test on it. So let's get these holes drilled. I now have 3/4 inch hole drilled into the stick for 2 feet. I only got 2 feet of it done right there. The holes are a little bit bigger. I went with 1/4 inch originally, and I was going to leave it at that because it was just going to use as a paddle to pull back the reeds and stuff to actually make make a loom in that way, which I'm still going to do. But then I found this other process called a peg loom that I really want to try, and I drilled the holes a little bit bigger. They're 3/4 inch. 2 feet right here is decent enough for me to do one as a test. Eventually I'll have this whole 5-foot stick with the 3/4 inch holes, and now all I got to do is find some pegs. I could go outside and find some sticks and do a bunch of carving and make them fit, or I could find well, smaller than 3/4 inch. So I'm going to try to find some dowels here in the house somewhere. If not, eventually I'll get some dowels, and we'll continue on with this peg loom. Alrighty, so necessity will outweigh. I've figured it out. I'm able to get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Woohoo! My lucky number. 13 different rods to fit in here. I do have a dowel rod that I found that I was using as an arrow. This one's a little tight. So I was using this one as an arrow, and when I found it, it fit perfect, and I was able to get 4 of those. So now I know what size of dowel rod I need to purchase to get them in the holes properly. Now, for the others, I was roaming around the house forever trying to find the perfect size dowel rod. I have some that are too big. I have some that are too small. Other than this one, I couldn't find any that was perfect. But I do have several. Well, I did have like 3 or 4 fishing rods that I just don't need. That's just been sitting around the house for a few years, doing absolutely nothing. So I cut those down, and I was able to find the rest of them that are decently sized. Here we go. I got several from each of the poles. Some of them are a little smaller than others. This one's really small, but the end of it kind of helps with the but the key to this is that I'm not going to let something like not having the money to go out and buy what I want to stand in my way of doing what I want to do. I prevailed. I did find enough of this aluminum fishing rod that I could make several pieces, and I just happened upon this one dowel rod that I had to make 4 more slots. So I will readjust the camera. I'll show you this in a little better detail, and we'll go looking around for some kind of cordage that I can use to make a small experimental mat or something so that I can show you how it works. So I'll get right back with you. That didn't take too long. Michelle has some of this nautical rope, cotton nautical rope that came from the Dollar Tree that she was putting into the giveaway pile, and I can unravel it, and it's looking like there's like maybe 2 or 3 pieces per wrap. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see here. Oh, there's 3 pieces. 3 pieces. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So I can unravel this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and it will give me some cordage to at least begin to experiment with this looming process and enable me to I don't know, do a little bit at least just to see how it works. So I'm going to unravel. Oh, there's 4. Nope, there's 3 here, and then this one piece right here. So we're going to go ahead and I'll turn the camera off. I'll unravel all this rope, and then I will get right back with you. Okay, so I have it all unraveled. It's slightly different sizes. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 2 pieces and I'm going to tie a knot. Just like that. Nice little knot. Is it going to stay? There it goes. It notched up. Good. And I'm going to make one continuous cord out of all of this. There we go. Just continue on until I make one nice continuous piece of cordage out of all of this. So when I get that done, I will get right back with you. So I have approximately 100 feet of this cotton yarny cord that I've got all tied together now into one long continuous piece of cordage. And as soon as I get this wrapped up, I'm only wrapping this up just to keep it kind of organized. There we go. Bingo bango. Good to go. Alright. So that's going to sit there. Now I'm going to get some twine, some jute twine here, and I'm going to cut about 10 feet, and I'm going to do that 13 times. Find the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it. Each one of these pegs have a little hole drilled all the way through it. So I did that off camera. Hopefully I can get this cordage through it. Got a nice little piece of metal here. There we go. And I'm going to try to shove this cordage through that hole and catch it on the other side. There we go. Bingo.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Bingo, bango. Now I only have to pull out one side. There we go. And all I'm going to do is even that up pretty close here. There we go. Maybe. There we go. We're going to even the ends up. And all I'm going to do is make sure it's through the holes just like that, and I'm going to stick it back into the peg. And I'm going to do that with each and every one of these pegs, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so I have all 13 of them cut to about 10 feet. And now all we're going to do is put those through the hole. There we go. Boom. Just like that. Even them up. And there we have it all lined up and set up and ready to weave. I'll give you a little closer demonstration and show you a little bit what's going on here, and then we'll continue. Okay, from here, let's go all the way up to the front. So we have the board, which has the holes in it, and each hole that we're going to use today has a peg. And each one of those pegs has a hole drilled in the bottom, and we have cordage running through there, and this happens to be 5 feet cordage, so there's 10 feet of it because it's doubled over, and it runs the length of the board and then down. So we're going to set up, and I'll show you how to weave this, and we will continue in a moment. Alrighty, so we are here. We have approximately 100 foot of this nautical cotton cord from the Dollar Tree. So all we're going to do is, on the very first step, I'm going to go in, let's say 4 here, and I'm going to start over here and weave this back and just set it down here just like this. Yep, let's go the other direction. Let's go 3 here. So we'll set this at 3, and I'll have a little piece of cord here. So all I'm going to do is start by going through each one of these and just weaving in and out, in and out, in and out. Now I'll show you here in a second a closer view of what I'm doing. And then once I get it there, let's give a little bit of a tap down. Doesn't have to be too much. There we go. A little bit of a tap down. Once we get to the end, we will just continue to weave. So this goes around, and then we'll come back the other direction, weaving in and out, in and out, in and out. And that's all it is. That's this entire process of weaving. It's just weaving around these pegs. Give it a little bit tighter tug here. There we go. Pat it down. Don't want it to be super tight, because they're going to be coming off of these pegs here soon. So we're going to continue to weave. I'll continue to do this until I get all the way to the top of the pegs, and then once we do that, I'll show you how we're going to continue with it once I get them all up on the pegs here. Okay, so here's a view from behind and a little bit closer so you can see. So all we're going to do is we're wrapping around it. We're just going in and out of these pegs, just like this. I like to give mine a little tap each time just to kind of get it down a little bit, which you don't necessarily have to do because you'll be doing that once you pull it off of these pegs anyway. Oops, there we go. Okay, so now we have it woven this much. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull each of the pegs out, and it's going to draw that cordage up through there, and then I'm going to replace the peg and push the weave out just like this. Now I'm doing it a little bit slow because of several things. First of all, this is the very first time I've ever done this, and secondly, my pegs are a combination of aluminum and rough non-sanded dowel rod, and I don't want to tear anything. Say this is just a experimental version of this process so that I can get the hang of it. This dowel in particular is stuck. There it goes. And not only stuck, but it's got a rough, there it is. It's kind of rough because I need to sand that one down because it's got glue and feather stuff on it. But these dowels need to be sanded down slightly. And let's get that last one out. Can it come out? Come on. There we go. Bingo bango. Now, that just sits there. Plain and simple. Just sits there. And I continue the weave. I just stay right where I was at, and I continue to do my weave. And I will continue to do the exact same thing all the way to the end of the cordage that I have. Now, like I said, I've only got like 100 feet of this cordage. I think it's pretty close to that. I don't know how much I'm going to get done with that amount, but it doesn't really matter because I'm really just doing this as an experiment to see how it works and everything. Now, I want to go a little looser. I think I'm not going to make I'm not going to push them down so much. So they'll be a little loose when I pull them out. And it might help with being able to pull the dowels and aluminum out of the notches the holes that I have set up. So I'm just going to continue to do this, oops, until I get it completely done. And I'll try not to pester you guys until I get that done. This is basically the whole process. There's nothing different. It's just a continuously weaving this and continuously pulling the pegs out and pushing the woven material down. So we will continue to do that, and I'll get right back with you guys. So I'm on my third time of changing these pegs out. I have to be honest, I'm loving this. This is very relaxing. It's very easy to do, and it looks like it's working out really well. Now, I will be working on getting actual dowels that I can sand and make them fit a little better, and that they're taller, because some of these pieces of aluminum that I'm using is pretty small, so I have to change it much more than I would if I had larger sized dowels. But boom. So let me take, oh dude, this is freaking awesome. Let me show you this. You can see it right here kind of, but let me change camera angle so you can see it better. So here we are, And as you can see, it's really weaving well. I mean, there's a little bit of space here, and I'll be able to tighten that space up after I'm done. But oh my gosh, I'm super freaking excited, and this is fantastic. I'm really excited, I'll be honest. This is just so freaking cool. I made that. I made this. This is so cool. Alright, so I'm going to continue, and once we get we're pretty close to having most of it done. Once I get it completely done, I will show you how we're going to cut it off the loom and then tie it up. And well, first we'll tighten it up, and then we'll tie it up. So I have noticed, just in the few moments that I've actually been doing this, I've learned a few things. One is not to tighten it. I don't need to tighten it down. As a matter of fact, keeping it loose actually helps when I pull it off of the pegs and then push it down, because I'm going to have to tighten it up later anyway, and it's just easier when it's loose to not pull it, to be able to pull it off of the pegs and move it around. So yeah, don't worry about pounding this down and tightening it up and trying to get as much as possible on your pegs at one time, because in the long run it's really not going to help the situation any. So just loosely, I mean, it doesn't have to be so loose that it's just hanging, but you know, just loosely put it on there.
Oh. Sorry.
And just go ahead and keep the weaving process going. I have to be honest, this is so therapeutic and so freaking awesome. I found another primitive to I guess old-timey is a good word, skill that not only relaxes me but entertains me, and it's a practical and useful skill to have that I think most people nowadays don't know how to do. And it's so simple. So here we go, 1, 2, we'll stop right there, and we pull the peg off, run the cord through there, put the peg back, and just continue on down. And as you clearly see, I mean, I'm using old pieces of fishing pole, aluminum fishing pole, and sticks, dowel rods, but you could, you know, cut sticks. And I'm using Dollar Tree jute twine for the length of the cords, and this is Dollar Tree nautical cotton line for the actual weave. So you can obtain all of this, because you can get dowel rods at the Dollar Tree, I believe. So you can get your dowel rods at the Dollar Tree, and you can find any stick, piece of pallet, or any stick out there to drill your holes in. Now if you had to do it out in the woods, it'd be a little more difficult. There we go, and it just pushes down. Oh my God, that is so easy and so fun. Alright, so we're getting close. We're getting close. I'll get back with you when I get this completely done now. And my tripod fell apart. Alright, here is the last bit of it. This is the last pin pull. There we go, and it's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the ends on the far end. I'm going to tie it. I'm going to leave a little bit there for maybe to have a little fringy. No, I'm not. I'm going to just tie it down there, and then I can tighten it up. So let's get down to that end. As I'm wrapping around that first one, and then through the second one, making like a little knot there, just like that, and then tie a knot so that I can secure this bottom. Make it, there we go, double knot there. There we go. And then that way, yeah, then see, that'll tighten it up here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these two pieces, I'm going around the first piece that I wove in under the second piece that I wove, and then back through, and I'm just putting a little knot there, just like that. And then when I do that, I just tie it off into a little knot twice, and then I cut that off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little more research to find out exactly how they tie those, because it wasn't secure. Maybe I missed an important first step to keep that from happening, but regardless, I just tie it off like this for now and it'll work. And there we are. So here's the beginnings of it, and I guess I could use that wire, but I'm thinking, since it's still a little loose, I'm just going to weave it in and out through this rug just like this until it disappears, and just leave it like that. Alright, now all I'm going to do is just pull this tight down to the end, keep pulling it down until I get it even and decently tight. There we go. Now before I tighten up this, I've got this end, which again I'm just going to weave in and out until it gets put into the cord. There we go. Keep going, keep going. This one's a little bit longer. Looks like maybe another couple times. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Let's do that another time. There we go. We'll tighten this decently. Don't want it to be so tight that it's, there we go. I'll leave it just like that. And then we're just going to cut these off, pull them through. One more. Bingo bango. Just like this. And now all we're going to do is just tie those the same way we tied this in, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so I come up with a thing that works. I just take them, pull them decently tight. I take the bottom one and I go under those 2 weaves. And I take the top one and go over those 2 weaves. And then I tie a double knot. Maybe even triple. There. And then that's how I'm doing it. So that's, at least for now, until I kind of look up and see if I've done any kind of incorrectness. But I pull it. As you can see, I pull it tight. Still flatten it out. Let's get these. There we go. So the bottom one, I take one and go over 2 weaves and through. And I take one under those weaves and through. Just like that. And then I just simply make a knot. And that's how it's done. So here we go. Here's my first piece of, I don't know, blanket or mat or whatever you want to call it. But it's fantastic. It's soft as all get out. It's a very nice weave. And I expect to only get better at it the more I do it. So I really think that I'm going to focus on this type of weaving rather than doing the other loom type that I had planned on originally. I like this. It's simple, it's effective, and I'm not too bad at it. So anyway. Also, one other thing. So this was about 100 foot of cordage, and I only went 13 wide. And that gave me an 11 wide piece of whatever this is, and it went 1 foot. So it's 11 by 12. I could probably get 12 by 12. So we're going to say this is about a 12 by 12. It's actually 11 by 12, but it's pretty close. So 100 foot will get me at least 11 by 11 square. We'll say that. It's 11 by 11 square for 100 feet. So that would give me the ability to math out how much I need for X amount. Now I would like to do a larger one. I'm not sure how many holes this is going to hold, but like I said, I only had 13 that I was working on this, and that cut it down a couple inches wide. So however wide I make this, it's going to be a few inches shorter when it's ending up. But the length of it can be any length I have, depending on how much yarn or cloth or whatever I'm using. So I can make it as long as possible. And this is a 5 foot board, so I could make it about 5 feet wide and however long I want. So hopefully soon I will get some better dowel rods and get more holes and just kind of go and just make a massive one. So that's going to be a project down the road. I don't know if I'll film it, maybe film bits and pieces of it, but it's going to be done this exact same way that I done this one. So that's that. So again, thank you guys for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors, even if it's your own backyard.